We gotta let those folks in first. Let some folks in.
You gotta let the folks in, huh?
Let them in the room. Let them in the room. Damn, I'm fucking. I can't believe I'm frozen. Maybe no game for me.
Or just refresh it. Just refresh it.
Hey, something. All right, coming to you live from the Sit Your Ass Down studios. Welcome to the Me and D
Pops and Son.
podcast.
For that ass. For that ass, no diddy.
This is the podcast for that ass. We got a special guest tonight. My homeboy, all the way down from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
The Dominican.
The Dominican.
Loving it every minute, love it.
Semper Fidelis Marine.
What's going on?
My man, William Johnson. Will, what's up, bro? Good to see you.
It's always a pleasure being with you, brother.
Man, long time no see. D, he's been down there. I can't even get him to come back home.
I don't blame him.
I'm at home.
Welcome back, brother. We're going to get into You Said What. We'll lead off with that, and we'll come back to some other things. But I'm going to lead off with this quote, and it's from the great Hall of Fame catcher Johnny Bench. His quote was, "There will never be another like Pete Rose. He battled his entire life, making it to the big leagues on determination and grit. He wanted to win every game and get 3, no make that 4. No 5 hits every day. He won the batting title because he had the desire and the goal. He wanted Ty Cobb's record. Will we ever see this again? 13 seasons of 190 plus hits, 3,562 games played, 5,929 times on base, Rookie of the Year, All-Star, Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, MVP, and World Series champion. A local kid from Cincinnati who became a king. We were teammates, business partners, and more importantly, in spite of what everyone thought, we were friends. I will miss him dearly. Johnny Bench," end quote.
Damn.
A tremendous champion, man.
Man, oh man. We lost one. He should be in the Hall of Fame. I put that there.
Without a doubt.
But at the time when he played and he managed, it was in every locker room, and I've been to a few MLB locker rooms. It's right there on the wall. No gambling allowed.
He didn't see it.
Yeah, Pete must have missed that one every day.
Every day. I ain't see it. When y'all put that up there?
Man, you didn't put that up there today, did you? Yeah,
I just
but
placed the bet.
yeah, despite his checkered past in terms of the gambling, like they always say, if you could tell the story of the game without this person, then maybe they don't need to be in the Hall of Fame. But for the 70s and 80s, you cannot tell the story of Major League Baseball without mentioning Pete Rose.
No, that's good. That's a good point right there.
4,256 hits. The next closest player to him that's living, already retired, is Derek Jeter. And I had it right here, 3,465.
Damn.
The closest player that's still active playing is Freddie Freeman, and he just made it to 2,267. It says it's going to take him at least 4 more years just to get to 3,000. Nobody's going to play long enough and get as many hits.
There's no way
to get that. To get 3,000 these days, a hell of a feat. Right. And so there's no premium on putting the ball in play. It's launch angle, it's home runs. Nobody puts the ball in the gap anymore. That's a thing of the past. So Pete, that record is going to live on forever. But what are your thoughts, Brother Will? What are your thoughts on Pete Rose?
It just may live forever. That record, the longevity, the going injury-free, playing through injuries. The guy was just amazing. He was evil on the field. Okay, so he was very evil on the field. But he played a mean game of ball, man. He could run the bases. He could hit the ball. He did everything well. And he loved the game more than anybody. He genuinely loved the game.
Remember, he used to run out all his walks. He would run down to first base.
Exactly.
After he would receive a walk. he could play pretty much any position on the field. If you remember right, he started out as an outfielder.
Right.
They moved him to the infield. He played just about every position other than shortstop. I know he played third, second, and first. He just, like you said, he loved to play.
He played a mean first base.
He did.
And he played a mean third base too.
He was an all-around ball player, and he could steal bases.
He could still base. He
could still base. That head first slide, that picture that you sent the other day, with him up in the air like Superman.
Exactly. Nobody else did that.
That's quintessential Pete Rose. Charlie Hustle, he was that person. At first, I thought it was a gimmick until I continued to watch him. I'm like, no, this dude is for real.
He's good.
He doing that for real.
Yeah, he played a mean game. Like I said, the number of 190 plus hits in a season, a lot of players don't get to that level. I bet you if we go to Baseball Reference right now, there might be one or two players that approach that this past season. But like I said, putting the ball in play is no longer expected. They want you to hit home runs. And it's sad. But yeah, rest in peace, Pete Rose.
I've never seen a player that enjoyed the game like he did. He loved baseball. He was baseball.
Right.
Pete Rose was baseball, period.
No, you're right. You're right. I can't dispute that.
And the way they did him after he messed up, admitted he messed up. He made a mistake by gambling on baseball when it was illegal. But would he torture the guy for 20 years and never let him in? Come on.
Right.
He paid his dues. He paid his dues to get into the Hall of Fame.
I think, Will, if he'd have came clean when they gave them an opportunity to do it, then he would have gotten in. He lied almost to the end. They showed him the evidence, and he just continuously denied it. And I think that was to his detriment. And I just don't know if anybody's going to continue to fight for him to get in. Now, the Veterans Committee, they could probably do it, but what good does that do him now, though? I always say, you let the person leave this earth and they didn't get their flowers that they deserve.
To see it.
Yeah. Agreed.
For example, here in the Dominican Republic, they laugh at that. They think that's totally nonsense to not let him in the Hall of Fame as good as he was.
Speaking of that, with you being there, I don't know if they made a big to-do of it there, but Ozzie Virgil Sr., did they bring him up at all? He was the first Dominican-born player to reach the major leagues. He passed away this past Sunday.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was wondering if there was much coverage or big. That's a hotbed for baseball, the Dominican these days.
Watching the Little League games is exciting. You just want to watch a Little League game because you're watching future stars. They play a mean game of baseball, Little League baseball out here.
Oh, they say it's uber competitive. Do they have better equipment than 20 years ago when they were playing baseball with paper bags and
Fortunately, they do. Fortunately, they do.
Okay, good.
It's not on par with the U.S. Don't get me wrong. Not on par with the U.S.
Right.
But they have some great young players down here.
Do they have many baseball fields? Because that's a dying thing here in the United States.
Everywhere you turn, there's a baseball field down here.
Yeah.
Everywhere you turn. And baseball games are an event.
That's their way of getting out and making something for themselves.
They have cheerleaders on the field.
Cheerleaders?
In the stands.
Oh, they take it serious.
Right. They turn it up quickly, aren't they?
Right.
If you travel with a smaller companion, you may want to cover his eyes.
I'll travel. We'll have to travel alone then.
Yeah, cover alone. Either put some shades on or do something.
You want to cover the little chap's eyes, because he's going to see something that he hadn't seen.
Damn.
In the DR.
That's the DR. It goes down in the DR.
It go down in the DR.
It go down in the DR.
It go down. It go down.
How you feeling about your Ravens right about now?
It's early. I think we're going to do something this year.
I think they found their groove for real with a Henry.
Well, he's playing, isn't he?
You got it. I mean, you found your offense for real.
Just don't
give to Henry.
Just don't run much.
I think
Don't
you give it to
who don't run who? I say don't run Lamar too much.
Or Henry.
you don't have to run them much. You can be balanced, honestly, because that's
Henry
going to
is
open up the
built for
passing
it
game.
though.
Exactly.
He's built for it.
Yeah, Henry is used to at least 25 carries a game. I think what do you say? He puts $500,000 in his body in the offseason. Pause. Like as
Yeah.
far as he takes very good care of himself, and he hit up to 21.5 miles per hour on that run.
He was
That
quick.
run was
He's
crazy.
6'3", 250, running 21 miles per hour. He's ridiculous. He's built for football. I think he can handle
Will,
30 carries a game.
I was saying on the last podcast, he looked like he could run the 200. The way the dude was
The way
moving.
he was galloping.
He is, oh man, I can get 100. I think I can get a 200 in. The way he was motoring.
Man, and it made the offense that much easier. Lamar didn't have to do too much, and it opens up the passing game because now you're worrying about Henry running the ball.
That's crazy.
Will they be able to beat Pittsburgh though?
I think they beat Pittsburgh for sure.
Oh,
I think they just had a rough
Pittsburgh.
start. They had a rough start. I mean, you had Kansas City, and then you lose to the Raiders, but that was just you were probably overlooking them. Then you get the Cowboys, then you get Buffalo. Like you got a pretty tough schedule your first 4 weeks.
That was a horrible loss to the Raiders.
Yeah, that was one you shouldn't have lost.
Yeah,
but
that's one you shouldn't have lost that one.
Hopefully they can get those type of games out early, and then the rest of the season.
But everybody's going to have that one or two.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Sometimes even three on the season.
49ers lost to me last week. The 49ers lost to somebody.
Previously,
they
Vikings
beat New England this past week, but they lost to the Rams. Actually, they lost 2 in a row. They lost to the Vikings, and they lost to the Rams.
It was back to back.
Man, what's going on with the Vikings? The Vikings, like they ready to do something.
Brian Flores, to me, where he's got that defense playing, they look real. They look for real. Now, I don't expect them to continue the pace that they're on, but I think when we said earlier this season who wasn't a playoff team, I remember I said Vikings like right off that.
Yeah, I would have. I think I can't remember what I said, but I probably said the same thing. Why would you think they were going to be?
Right.
They started. I didn't think Sam Darnold was going to be playing anywhere near like this.
And I don't see him holding up. Truthfully, I think he'll come back to the pack.
Who's backing him up?
Say again.
I don't know who's behind Sam Darnold.
Who's backing Darnold up?
Because Darnold was supposed to be the backup.
Good question, Will. I'm not sure.
McCarthy was supposed to be the starter.
Is that the guy that played in Texas before?
Because Dobbs left. Dobbs is with the 49ers, the astronaut.
You talking about Echo?
Hold on, let me see.
Echo, right?
Let me look at their roster real quick.
It's not Brock Purdy. They ain't got no Brock Purdy coming off the third string.
Now, what happened to the 49ers backup quarterback? The one that they were riding on him for the future.
With Trey Lance?
Where is he?
Dallas.
I think he's with Dallas still. Third string, I want to say.
He's not with the 49ers anymore?
Nah, they traded him last year. He went to Dallas, but he can't see any playing time with Dallas either. Nick Mullins.
Oh, Mullins.
Yeah, I forgot about him. He was the backup for the 49ers, 2 years ago? And you might be right. I think he did go on to Houston and backed up C.J. Stroud. But yes, Nick Mullins. He's decent. I think he's out of Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. Played for Alabama.
Is he still with the Vikings?
Yeah, that's who it is.
Okay.
So they got 2
former
Niners QBs as a quarterback. Darnold and then Mullins. Yeah, I've forgotten all about him.
What's going on with Philadelphia, man?
Bad coach.
AJ Brown's hurt, but I think the chemistry's off in the locker room. I don't think, and just the coaches that left who went on to other jobs. I think just trying to find. Now they got Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. He was okay with Dallas, but
and then with LA, maybe
with LA, like he was cool, but I don't think he was really. I don't know if he's the right type of coach for their scheme and the personnel they have.
And then Vic Fangio is the defensive coordinator. Long time. He 49ers, Bears. He was a head coach for the Broncos at one point. I really think they're not feeling the coach. And the rift between Jalen Hurts and the coach is bringing everybody down. I think they're not going to fire Jalen Hurts. So at some point the coach is probably gonna have to go.
He's got huge money that he signed for, right?
Yeah,
Huge.
Jalen got his money. Yep. And he deserved it at the time. He's just not. I heard the stat. I think he's got the third most turnovers of any player. I think he's got. That's not. Damn. I wish I knew the other two right off the top of my head. But it's between sacks. Oh, Sam Howell and Bryce Young between sacks and turnovers. He's third on the list. Third from the bottom.
And that was his
That's Jalen Hurts, $50 million man, turning the ball over and making mistakes like that.
normally.
No, that's not his game. He typically, I can't say typically because he's third from the bottom, but it seemed like he used to be a lot better at controlling the turnover game and not take. That's the other thing. He holds the ball too long. That's why he takes so many sacks.
He's doing it now, but he wasn't doing it 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't. The year they went to the Super Bowl, I thought he was the MVP of the league.
He was playing flawless ball.
He was. What else is on your mind sports wise, my man?
Sports wise, my mind is all over the place. I was kind of thinking about a little bit off sports, a little bit thinking about John Amos.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
Oh yeah,
Big loss, rest
another
in
legend.
peace. Good times. Like you say, Roots. Forgot about him in Roots.
Yeah, he was in Roots.
Coming to America.
Coming to America, Mr.
just
McDowell.
He was a very good actor.
Yeah,
Very
he was very good, very good. Yeah, that was sad. Seemed though we'd been hearing rumblings all summer long about he had passed away and it ended up being a hoax. And then I read something today that he actually passed away in August, and
Yeah.
because of the
What
fighting with the
was up with that?
family, they just now officially said that he passed away. So I don't know if it's over money or what.
When a star like that dies, you got to wonder if money's going to pop up in the equation. It most often does. People just can't get over it.
Definitely has to be money.
Yeah, it's got to be money related and money motivated. The one that got me though was Dikembe Mutombo. I didn't know he'd been suffering with brain cancer.
Neither did I. I had no idea.
Yep, that was just out of the blue.
Yeah,
I mean, not only was he a great ball player, but humanitarian. The number of hospitals and things that he did for his country of Africa. Yeah, he's definitely gonna be missed.
Yeah, that was
real. That was surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Brain cancer. They said it was.
Yep.
Yep. Crazy.
No, that is pretty wild, though.
What else, man? Before we get you out of here,
Has anybody else passed away? Someone else passed away.
my guy off, and we mentioned it the other night off of Beverly Hills Cop. He played Taggart. John Ashton was his name.
And they just came out with a movie too.
You're right, Axel F or whatever.
Yeah,
I hadn't watched it, but
it's cool. It's like the same. It was like the same movie but older.
I heard some of the same songs, like from the original movie.
No, they were trying to keep it the nostalgia of it. They didn't want to change it, and they didn't want to change any of it for real. So they kept the same premise and plot, but they were just older now. Yeah, they played the same music, same soundtrack. He was in the same little outfit.
Yeah, he always kept the Detroit Lions jacket on.
Yep.
Now it's fashionable. When he was wearing it before, the Lions always sucked.
They were not, but he was repping Detroit. Now here recently, they making a little splash for themselves.
Mm-hmm. But man, we appreciate you coming on with us, Brother Will.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely.
This will come out Sunday. Be on the lookout. We'll put it actually out on, so the audio will be out Sunday. The video will be out on Monday. So Monday and Tuesday, we'll have some video for you.
I appreciate it, and I look forward to being on with you guys again.
Oh, absolutely,
man. Love having you on. Good seeing you, brother. You take care down there. Be safe.
Get your plans ready. Coming down here.
Got the bags packed already, and I got my passport.
Young, you're already on the plane. You're already. Good seeing you guys. You guys take care.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Take care, man.
Yes, sir.
All
Take
right.
it easy.
All right. Thanks again to my brother Will Johnson for joining us. We're going to move into, we talked about the MLB playoffs, and I got a little scheduling for us. Didn't see how still haven't seen how the Milwaukee New York Mets game turned out. That's the only wild card game left. But as of right now, in the next round of the playoffs, the Guardians will take on the Tigers.
Okay.
That starts off on Saturday. Also, Saturday, which is October the 5th, you got Phillies and taking on the winner of the Brewers and the Mets. In the American League, you got Yankees versus the Royals. And then in the National League, you got Dodgers versus Padres. That's going to be a good
That is
series.
gonna be a real good series.
I'm taking the Padres in that. I'll take the Yankees in the Yankees versus Royals. I'll take the Phillies. And then I think I'm gonna take the Tigers. They showed me something, D.
Tigers did good. Tigers seem like they've been have a little momentum coming into the playoffs. So
They traded away their number 2 pitcher, who is Jack Flaherty, who's going to start for the Dodgers on Saturday, former Cardinal. And they put on the injured list Javi Baez. He's their highest paid
Javi,
player. Javier Baez played for the Cubs, won a championship with them
Javier.
in 2016. He was becoming a cancer in the locker room. They got rid of him. They traded Flaherty, and then he went on a winning streak. And
Flaherty.
they've been one of the best teams in baseball since, I want to say, mid-August. So congratulations to the Detroit Tigers.
Okay.
It's been a long time since the Tigers and the Lions have both been good.
Man.
Now, if they can fix the Pistons,
Woo! They be
if
in.
they
They
can
be
fix
back.
the Pistons, we're back.
We're back.
Mortimer, we're back.
Just don't be
Like-
shooting nobody at the tailgate.
Right.
Right.
Man. It's not a taco.
It's not a sandwich.
It's not a pizza.
It's not a burrito.
It's not a panini. It's a
It's a
wrap.
wrap.
Sounds like it's becoming a wrap for Devontae Adams with the Las Vegas Raiders, D. Now it's the only team that he wants to be dealt to is the Jets. He wants to reunite with Aaron Rodgers. They say the Raiders want to do right by him, but they're just not going to give him away. They want at least a second-round draft pick.
Right.
And my thing is this, D, and I'm going to get your opinion in just a second. Why didn't he ask for this trade during the summer? Because you knew what you were coming into. You saw who was going to be your quarterback. It was going to be Gardner Minshew, or what's the dude, O'Connell, I think?
Yeah,
or
O'Connell.
something like that.
Yeah. Was it O'Connell or Connell? Something like that.
It's something
It doesn't
like
matter.
that. He's Irish. I remember that.
Irish. Okay.
He's got the red hair.
Flaherty.
Anyway, you knew who you were going to be with. You knew you didn't have much talent. You knew Josh Jacobs had already left. Your boy Darren Waller, he's been gone. So you knew you didn't have much talent to work with. If you were going to come back, you were the lame duck again this season.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you ask for this trade during the offseason? Because right now, to me, it's almost like a little punk move. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like the team we have. Now I want to go somewhere else.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think you could tell that watching that Netflix series that he was frustrated with the organization, and he really didn't see. He was trying to be optimistic and I guess try it out, but I think he was like, let me see how the season goes. And then
But they're not bad. What are
they're
they,
not
2-2?
bad, but it is just like almost like a cop out now that
Right.
4 weeks into the schedule now, okay, now you want to demand a trade. You could have made that hard decision before the season even started, and you would have increased your chances a little bit more because you would have
getting traded.
because you would have gave other teams enough time. It would have gave your team enough time. Oh, look who it is! He on the Taco Bell commercial, Devontae Adams. But he would have gave both teams enough time and your agent enough time to work out a deal to where you can actually go where you wanted to go. But now that you're doing it 4 weeks in, you're hurting yourself, one, because you're not playing right now, so your production is going down. And then two, it doesn't really look good as far as what do you do in the locker room?
Right. The
as far as
optics
like
look bad. Now they've got him. They said he's
now you
injured.
don't want to play.
Right.
Oh,
Now
now
you
you
don't
say
want
he's
to
injured.
play. Yeah, they keep saying he's injured again for this game, upcoming game this Sunday. But I'm like, come on, Devontae. I like him. So let me just say that up front.
Oh
I
yeah,
like him. He's one of the best receivers these last few years. Man, I had a stat on him that was his game is unbelievable, but the timing is off.
yeah. It
Like
was
you
just bad
said,
timing.
you had all summer, man.
I don't blame him
You
for
had
the
all
move.
training camp to know, man, this don't look too good.
Right. I don't
Yeah,
blame him for the move.
we're about ready to run back a lousy team. And like we said, the Netflix thing was filmed last year. So you already went through that whole season knowing,
You already knew. You could
yeah,
tell if you watched the end of it. You could tell by his mannerisms that he wasn't really. When they asked him about next year, he's, I'm gonna really see it out, and if they want me, they want me, and we'll see. It was almost like a we'll see. Like he almost knew he didn't really want to see. He gave the corporate answer of almost, I really don't want to be here because I know it's not gonna be good, but I don't want to be that guy of just constantly asking for a trade.
keep saying I'm not that guy, but you're that guy.
You are that guy, just be the guy.
Just
Just
be
be
the
that
guy.
guy, and just be honest with yourself. Because honestly, if you don't want to be there, like they said, they'll do right by you, but they want something out the deal
They
too.
need some compensation. Yeah.
Because we thought we were gonna have a number one receiver here. Now you want to leave. Now, okay, now I'm gonna need some picks for that. I'm gonna need some compensation,
Some compensation and some representation.
some representation, and I need compensation.
And we need some compensation.
because we never had this conversation.
Now we got a whole lot of frustration
We got a whole lot of frustration and complication
and consternation.
and consternation.
Now you want to move across the nation.
Yeah, I'll give you my salutations.
With no greetings.
Right.
No greetings and
And salutations.
That's a good one. All right, son. Who could you have a drink with? Let me get. Oh, where's our glass? Gotta have a few little cubes. Oh,
Oh, there you go.
there you go. Let's get a couple. Ooh, make it neat.
Make it neat.
I think the first one was neat. Then we got this one over ice. Just a little ice. Just cool it off. Who could you have a drink with, son? Who could you have a drink with? So it's where we focus on someone living and someone deceased.
So who I would have a drink with living? I'll go Booker T. I need to watch
T-Bone.
I need to watch the McMahon series on Netflix. That looks like a little bit serious, but
King Booker.
I do. Booker, can you dig it? Sucker. I watched the biography of Booker T not too long ago, and Booker T was a real wrestler. I don't think he really gets enough credit of how
That dude was athletic as
he
hell.
was athletic. He had it all for a wrestler. 6'3", like close to like 230. Was a 5-time WCW champion. And at that point on WCW, they were beating WWE in the rankings.
They were.
They had younger, more street, more raw performers, wrestlers, and
They're more relatable to the audience.
to that audience and in that '90s era.
Yep.
And
And
that's
in
where,
the GA.
Yep. So I would have. He's a Houston native from the South, but I've had a lot of respect for Booker T. One of my favorite wrestlers, just far as black wrestling, all the stuff he had to deal with. Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you. But I would have a drink with Booker T because that would just be a real good conversation, just to sit down with one of the legends in the game. And then as far as deceased, I will go. Let me see here. As far as deceased,
Stuck.
I'll have a drink with O.J. Simpson. I'm gonna ask him, did he do it? And have an actual drink. And actually have a sit down conversation. Actually, because O.J. Simpson, I'm not plugging another show, but he actually made his cameo here recently on the show It Is What It Is with Cameron and Mace, and they had him as a sports analysis, and that kind of brought back some light to him. But I would actually have a sit down with O.J. Simpson. I ain't gonna cap, because saying he has some hard hitting questions about life. Would you change anything? The regrets, how you're perceived in the media, and then what would you want to tell the people now of who you actually are? So I'm gonna go.
It's different off the board. Yeah. And he was a hell of an athlete.
He was a hell of an athlete. He was a actor cameo. Of course, he had a bad rap, crazy rap. But I think that's what's gonna make. I think that's what's gonna make the sit down a little more interesting, because you were acquitted of a high profile murder.
Do you expect him to tell the truth though?
No,
Right.
but who knows? Shoot,
You never know.
you might have a
Especially
change
if
of
you
heart.
have a drink with him, he might open up.
Because on the show, he told everyone that he had cancer.
Oh, for
So
real?
yeah, so he knew he had cancer. So maybe at that point in time, almost to where he might have known that it might have been his time to go. So on your deathbed, if you want to make any amends to anything or to change anything, people might have a change of heart when you ain't not gonna face any more repercussions anymore, like
No, no repercussions of the concussion
other concussions.
because he thought he was Kirk Cousins.
Thought he was Kirk Cousins, but I'll go with the former running back. Shoot, he was a hell of a running back as far as like running
Man.
backs go. His records and playing in an era where it was 70s, 80s. Man, it was tough.
The juice was loose back in the day.
Yep.
He was good with Buffalo. Like I said, I've always maintained. He closed out his career with the Niners in 1979. I still remember that. Got a few runs with them. It's funny you say that, D, because it used to be, and we had no conversation about this. My person living is Marcus Allen, Hall of Fame running back. Also went to USC just like OJ, played for the Raiders and the Chiefs. He was one of the smoothest runners you could ever want to see. And I used to call him Marcus Mickey Ficky Allen, and insert the real word there. But
Right.
he was my dude back in the day. And him and OJ were best friends for quite a while until he was accused of sleeping with OJ's ex-wife. That was part of some of the stuff that went down, in that whole little triangle, circle, whatever you want to call it, of
The triangle.
whatever went down, and if he did it, if he didn't do it, or whatever. Everybody has their opinion on that. But, Marcus Allen was one of the first NFL players to gain more than 10,000 rushing yards and 5,000 receiving yards during his career. And he has the distinction of being the only player to have won the Heisman Trophy, the Coach's National Trophy, the Super Bowl, and NFL MVP and Super Bowl MVP. So Marcus has got a lot of accolades. He's 64 now. Not sure what he's doing. He was in the media for a while, but I'd love to sit down and chop it up with him because, like I said, he was one of the smoothest runners back in the day. I used to love to watch him. And deceased, the late, great Bill Walsh, innovator of the West Coast offense that so many teams currently run. In his 10 years with the 49ers, he led them to 3 Super Bowl championships, and he was one of the first coaches to script his first 10 to 15 plays on offense, and he would stick with them, and he'd set the tone of the game. Now, you see a lot of coaches mimic that these days, but do they really stick to those 10 to 15, or if something goes bad, they stray from it? But he had his hardcore 15 plays, and he'd mix it up. And like I said, he'd set the tone for the game. Really miss Bill Walsh. I'd love to pick his brain. Just, man, how do you see a scheme? Even like a Shanahan, his dad, how do you all just sit down and draw up plays? Sean McVay, he
Right.
comes from that Shanahan tree, which the Shanahan tree comes from Bill Walsh. All of it originates from Bill Walsh.
Yep.
Andy Reid was a disciple, many others, but damn, Baker, he had wide open field.
Yeah, he was
Anyway,
hitting it.
yeah, those two, Marcus Allen and Bill Walsh.
Yeah, those are real good. I like that.
Yeah, it's funny though. You chose OJ, and like I said, they were friends. Both went to USC. He looked up to OJ for quite a while. They were best friends, and like I say, things happen. I got a You Said What Part 2. We had one with Will, and this is the other one. I want to read this one because we're getting into that time of the year. It says, if I'm Bronny, I would tell my dad to just let me play the G League all season so that I can develop. He needs playing time. He doesn't need to be sitting on the Lakers bench and not playing. That's not a knock against him. He's just not ready. He needs to develop more, and then he will be ready because he has some great talent and skills, but he needs to develop those skills at a much better clip if he wants to play 15 to 20 minutes a night in the NBA or more. End quote. Who said that? I don't know if you saw that.
Mm. I don't know. I don't know that one.
Irvin Magic Johnson
Oh, Irvin Magic
made that
Johnson.
statement. And I agree with him, D.
He.
I think that the first couple games to get the season started, get LeBron and Bronny Jr. on the court at the same time, Bron Jr., get them both on the 27-27. Nice, they tied it up. Get them on the field at the same time. And field, I'm looking at the football game. I apologize. Get them on the court at the same time. Let them get that out of the way, the first father-son play. And then let him go to the G League and really get his game right. What are your thoughts on that?
No, that's not a bad idea as far as just him just developing some more skills, getting more experience. I think we say it all the time just for young players in any professional league. The more experience, the more reps, the more repetitions you have, the better and more comfortable you are honing your skills. Unless it might be something to where we don't know, who knows? As far as JJ Redick, I think he's already said that they didn't draft Bronny just to sit there. I think he's going to get some minutes. Now, whether that's garbage minutes or not, and whether that's going to be in a impactful level, that's you don't really know. But I don't think it's either way. I don't think it's a bad idea for him to actually, and that might build his confidence up more, and it will give other teams more tape on him to really see because we really ain't got no tape on him.
Right.
He had the cardiovascular condition. They were limiting his minutes at USC. He got in there coming off the bench. He had some moments as far as defensively that you could see. But yeah, I think he just needs, like any player, any developing player, any young player in any type of profession, the more reps you have, the more comfortable you are. And that's going to transcend to the actual game. So I don't think it's bad advice, especially coming from one of the greatest point guards of all time. I think if you're going to take some advice, I know your dad's considered the best player of all time, but you got top 5 Hall of Famer, the best point guard,
And
still,
he's still
currently
connected to the Lakers
and that's what
organization.
I'm saying. It's not coming from ill will. I think that's actually just constructive criticism. So
Yeah, it wasn't coming from a place of hate.
yeah, I think
It was
that's
just
sincere, being for real. Like
being sincere, knowing the game, knowing what it's going to take for him to be the player that Bronny, I'm sure, wants to be and that
right,
LeBron wants him to be. This is what you're going to need. You need reps. You're
yep,
not going to get any reps sitting on the bench. And
just cheering on dad.
right. So I think that, and going to dinner after the game with dad,
Bronny,
you need to,
did you play with your dad?
did you play with your dad? You might want to go to
Bronny,
the G League. Get away from dad.
won't you go to the G League? Play by yourself,
You want to stay up here and play with your dad.
huh?
Pause.
You keep it right. I was saying that. I was gonna move past it.
Yeah, I was like, that didn't sound good. But I like Magic's advice. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do, and we're right up on the cusp of
The
the
NBA, the season
NBA
started.
coming back. Yeah, so that's why
Can't
that
believe it's
was so
already that
timely.
time.
So your game tonight, the Thursday night ball
Man,
game, we got a nice one going,
it's actually a real good game.
27-27. Got the Atlanta Falcons, D's Atlanta Falcons going against AM and the PM's
They're up.
Buccaneers. So
Tampa's up right now, 30-27.
oh, they got the lead?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I'm still showing 27-27, so I'm a little bit behind you.
They playing that swag surf, so hopefully Kirko Cousins can get turned up.
Get them cranked up, get them
Kirko
going.
Chains.
Who's your NFL game of the week, D? Going into week number 5. I got the Buffalo at the Texans. Battle of the 3-1 teams. That's my game that I'm looking at.
Besides this Saints and Falcons and Bucks game, that's really my game of the week. This is a big week for us. Now, also looking at it, I would also do like that Bills and Texans battle of the 3-1s, and yeah, that's really. I might have to piggyback off of that. Also, like, depending on how the Saints come out, if they come out against how they did against Dallas, I think they could definitely beat the Chiefs. Also, like that Ravens versus Bengals. That's a good division matchup. Lamar versus Joe, especially they have both teams their struggles, and I want to see a good matchup between them. So I'll probably go Ravens and Bengals.
All right, all right. Moving on to the AP Top 25, and we always focus on the top 12 teams in college football. You got Alabama moved up. They're 4-0. They defeated Georgia in an instant classic last Saturday. They'll take on Vanderbilt on October the 5th. And all these games will be, or most of these games that we talk about, will be played on Saturday the 5th. Obviously, by the time we come out, those games will be history. Texas is number 2 this week, 5-0. They dropped one slot. They beat Mississippi State 35-13. They have a bye this week. Ohio State's 4-0. They take on Iowa after beating Big Ten opponent Michigan State 38-7. Tennessee is 4-0. The Vols had the week off and they moved up a spot. Georgia's 3-1. They took it on the chin, losing to Alabama in the last seconds of the game. They take on Auburn this week on the 5th. Oregon is 4-0. They are at number 6. Continue to climb after they beat UCLA last week. The Ducks are scheduled to play Michigan State on Friday the 4th, which is tomorrow for us. This is the 3rd. Penn State, and actually, I don't know if we mentioned this off the top, but we're recording a night earlier than we typically do. We're recording on a Thursday.
It's Thursday.
This go round. It's Thursday. Number 7, Penn State's 4-0. They beat Illinois. Was scheduled to take on UCLA on the 5th. Miami improved to 5-0. They'll play Cal on Saturday the 5th. Mizzou moved up. They moved up. Actually had a bye. They're 4-0 still. They moved up 2 spots. They'll take on Texas A&M.
Ooh.
Michigan 4-1. They were able to jump up another 2 spots after its win over Minnesota. They were scheduled to take on Washington on the 5th. And then you got USC 3-1. They were able to sneak back into the top 12 after they beat Wisconsin. They'll play Minnesota. And then Ole Miss 4-1. They dropped 6 spots, but they're still in the top 12. They were upset by Kentucky. They're scheduled to take on South Carolina on the 5th. So a little movement there. Your team, the Bulldogs, didn't drop as far as I thought they might. Didn't want them to drop far, but you know how these things go. Sometimes you can lose and
they drop you all the way down.
You lost to a top-ranked opponent.
Lost to Bama
so
again.
You shouldn't have dropped too far down.
Shoot, the only team we've lost to in the past 2 seasons is Bama. Lost to Bama twice. Like, they got our number. And it doesn't matter if it's Nick Saban. It doesn't matter if it's
Kalen DeBoer.
Bama, they play the same type of offense that we do. They play the same. They're literally just little brother and big brother, tell you the truth. And I think big brother continues to win. And little brother got him a couple times over the years.
You all battle back, man, to get back in that game.
Man, if we would have started firing like that in the get-go, we wouldn't have to bat all the way back. But especially facing Bama, and it's a tough game. Like, we were in Alabama. That's a hostile environment. But I'm glad we didn't drop too far. But Texas, Bama, Georgia, those seem like the top teams to me as far as personnel, coaching, and just overall
you might even throw Tennessee in that mix.
You can throw Tennessee in there.
Yeah, they're playing some good football too. I think your top 4 to 5, I'll say your top 6 by the time it's all over, is going to be SEC teams. And all they're doing is just making each other better, getting ready for sharpening the tools and getting everybody ready for the playoff season. So, all right, son. UFC 307, and I forgot to write down who he's fighting, but Alex Pereira.
He's tied for the second most fights since October 2021. I'm glad we brought this up because I was going to talk about it. He's had 10 fights since the end of 2021, which
who's tied him? Gaethje or somebody like that?
Tied for the most is Kevin Holland. I don't know if you remember this dude right here. He fights damn near every card as well. Tied for the most he has 11 since 2021. And for those who don't think that's a lot of fights.
That's a lot of fights. A lot of punishment that your body takes.
That's only
a lot
3
of training
years.
That you. Yeah, it's 3 years.
That's 3 years. So you're fighting at least 3 times. And there was one year you fought 4 times.
He fought 4 times. Was at, I think it was in 2023. He fought 4 times. Because every time we looked up, he was
Well,
fighting.
no, that's no. So no, yeah.
That might
So
be this year.
that's 4 times. Yeah, that's almost like 4 times a year. It's just 3, and then
What
4
we
for
say, 3
Pierre.
years?
Yep, 3 years.
Yeah, it's almost 4 times a year. It's 11.
Yeah,
So it's 3.5, something like that.
yeah. So one year he had 4, and the other ones he had 3. But yeah, man, that's
Now, has Holland held a belt? I think he has, right?
no. Hala hasn't held the belt yet.
Okay,
He
see, that's the difference. You're fighting you're fighting
under
pressurized
pressure.
fights.
Yeah, damn near almost no every match that Pierre's been in, damn
It's a
near has
title
been a
fight,
title
right?
fight. And
Yeah,
whether it was
see,
a title fight with Adesanya, and then he fought again to where he lost, but then he fought to contend for the light heavyweight, then won the light heavyweight, and ever since he won the light heavyweight, it's been
he's been defending his belt.
defending his belt. So yeah, like you said, these are
So you're
marquee
fighting under
fights, right?
stress and duress.
But he don't show no stress.
No, he doesn't.
He
He
just shows
doesn't.
he just loves to fight. Apparently,
Man,
if he's fighting again this weekend, like that's crazy, man.
he's going after that cheese too while he can get it.
Oh, why he can get it now?
Because
Because
you know
I think,
Dana's, hey, if you're willing to fight, I'm willing to put you on the card.
and he's not really taking a lot of punishment. Like it's one thing if
No.
you're going toe to toe, you have a brawl, but he's knocking dudes out second round, and he's not really getting affected. I can fight again in probably another couple months. Give me a couple.
And Adesanya, he just snuck in and got you.
Right.
He timed his move right
Literally,
and it took you down.
literally snuck in and got you.
So, like you said, not a lot of punishment, able to bounce back quickly and heal, and yeah, so that's gonna be a good fight. Who did we say who he's fighting? Though? We never said
he's
who.
fighting-
That's the one thing we didn't say. Plenty of time left for you boys.
Get up, feel. Damn, let me doing all this. Khalil Roundtree. He's 14-5.
Don't know much
no
about him.
contest. He's a newer solid fighter. I've seen him in a couple
I've
of
heard
UFC
the
fight
name,
nights.
and it might be from this card. I don't.
He's a tough fighter, but we'll see. But he's a tough fighter.
We'll see if he makes the most of his opportunity.
Oh
Way through a pick.
no, just Mooney can't. Oh my God, Mooney dropped another one. He dropped a wide open pass. Oh, I'm talking about wide open. Oh, he was already turning upfield before he even caught it. That's how wide open he was.
Catch the ball first, young man. All
Oh
right,
my
son.
goodness.
You ready for you got juicy news for us?
Yeah, I got some juicy news.
All right.
Damn. Come on,
Who
man.
could I have a drink with? Brother D?
Right. Come on, cool. We should already be up in this, man.
Oh, damn. I saw it. Yeah, he was ready to make a move. I got another 10 yards. All right, son. Who's your juicy news tonight? Because if you don't know,
Hey.
now you know. Young brother,
Bye-bye.
young sister, young player.
Dwight
Dwight Howard. I was looking at the play. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Dwight
No, you good.
Howard. P. Diddy. Porter. Family. Cheetah. All
Okay,
right,
for that-
son. Who you got?
That juicy news. So if you don't know, this could have been a couple topics, especially with that P Diddy case. They found tunnels under his, I think, Florida mansion, one of his houses. There's actually escape tunnels, like underground tunnels with chambers, and almost like holding chambers, to where like it's like a cellar. Like you go down there. There's different ways to exit. It's like underground, and there's like cellars to where it look like you can hold people. And they say there's like a weird odor coming from down there. So, and also his house is only a couple miles away from a shipping port. So he
might be trafficking. He was seriously
trafficking,
human
trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking. He might be in some deep shit. But
somebody asked me today if I thought he was gonna like how much time. I said he's in for life.
oh, he's done.
They're not gonna let that man get out.
No, because
Diddy's done.
Diddy's done. That's over 30
Diddy's done,
years.
son.
That's 30 years he was able to and stay out the light. They finally got him, so he should just be proud that he made it that far.
Agreed.
But the juicy news is actually so local story show that so there's a young lady Jennifer Lawson, 36 years old, was sentenced to a minimum of 2 years in prison with a maximum of 20 years for felony sexual battery involving a 16-year-old male student. This was a case that I saw on social media. So Lawson and the student were caught last year after police found that the victim was driving her vehicle with the headlight out. They cop pulled them over, and then the cop asked the kid, "Oh, why are you driving the car?" And he was saying that Miss Lawson was too intoxicated to drive. Then the investigation revealed that Lawson had been with the student and supplied him with drugs and alcohol.
Damn.
All bad, all bad. So the plea deal for Miss Lawson, she was denied. So plea deal, she denied allegations and she faced 2 counts of felony rape with a possible life sentence. However, she accepted the plea deal, pleading guilty to a lesser charge of 2 counts of felony sexual battery. It's a messed up world out here, man.
There's nothing good about that
Hey, nothing
story.
good about that, and nothing good about that story.
All right, man. That's some sickness. Time for our pops, flops, and props.
Pops, flops, and props.
Oh, those pops, flops, and props. Who you popping?
Pops is gonna. So the Falcons got a big win on Sunday, but we're trying to get this win on Thursday night. But still sitting at the second in the division. If we can knock off the Tampa Bay Bucks, we'll be sitting pretty.
So you're popping that?
Pop is the Falcons for winning on Sunday.
Okay, got you. All right, my pop's going to go to Miami's Cam Ward. Becomes the 13th quarterback in NCAA history to top 15,000 career passing yards. Who you flopping? Who you flopping?
Flops is going to go to the Eagles. They can't seem to get it together. I think people had high expectations for them, and especially with adding Saquon Barkley, but they're really showing a lot of struggle. So Flops is going to the Eagles for losing to the Bucks Sunday.
My flop is going to go to the one writer / voter who didn't vote Caitlin Clark as the MVP. She got 66 of 67 first place votes. She would have been unanimous, but one person named Angel Reese. I get it, but I don't get it. Who you propping? Who you propping?
Props is going to go to Caitlin Clark for winning Rookie of the Year.
All right. Mine's going to go to Alabama's 17-year-old wide receiver Keith Williams, who had the game-winning catch against Georgia, but for most importantly, for increasing his NIL bag with his performance, he went from about $700,000 to $1.5 million in NIL money in a week's time, just because of that performance.
Crazy.
And he's only 17 years old.
Mm.
All right, son. It's that time of the podcast when we get to tell someone to sit
Your
ass
down.
Man, sit your ass down.
Man,
Please.
please.
And thank you.
You.
Who you telling to sit that ass down?
Sit the ass down is going to Jennifer Lawson, man, the teacher who was with their student, man. Like, you're supposed to set the
nasty
standard.
self.
You're supposed to be leading the
A
future.
role model.
The role model is also because usually you hear it the other way around, but it can happen both sides. So, yeah, she need to sit her ass down and really think about what she want to do because she's supposed to be educating our children, but she was teaching sex ed. She an English teacher.
Right. All right, son. Mine is going to be to someone I already mentioned, the voter who kept Caitlin Clark from being named the unanimous Rookie of the Year. Man, sit your ass down. I know early in the season, D, we were both on the Angel Reese bandwagon for Rookie of the Year, but after one, she didn't complete the second half of the year. And looking at the second half, how Caitlin just really started taking over, setting records. Come on now. How could you not see that she was clearly the Rookie of the Year? 19.2 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, and 8.4 assists per game, becoming the first rookie ever to lead in that category. Not sure what she needed to see, especially after, like I said, Angel didn't finish the season due to injury. But I know what she needs to do. Sit that ass down. All
She
right.
definitely is. No, the one person who didn't vote her is crazy. The one person that didn't vote is crazy.
Almost like it was hate.
It was just almost she ain't gonna get unanimous.
Right. I'm gonna be the only
I'm gonna
one.
be I'm gonna be the only one. Sorry, boo boo.
And it could have been a male. We don't know if it was a
Oh, I'm just
male,
doing that voice.
female.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't saying it was a female. I was just saying
Right.
that's just what that's what it just seemed like.
Sit down, boo boo.
Right. That's what I was just trying to sit down, boo boo. I wasn't even
Boo
trying to
boo.
say
No, I
to
know. I'm
insinuate that
just
it was a woman, but that's just the voice in my head. Sorry, boo boo.
All right. We thank you so much for listening to us. Like I said, you can always catch us on Facebook and YouTube. Podcast comes out on Sundays. The video's released on Tuesdays. And don't forget our spinoff show, the Me and D Monday night
Wrap up
NFL
show.
wrap up show. It's also on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, get your merch from
Man, get that merch.
NGD Apparel. Get your
that merch.
Man, we got some nice stuff out there. Starting to get cold. What do you want on your hoodie?
What you want on your hoodie?
What you want on your hoodie? What do you want on your sweats? What do you want to portray? Because we can hook you up, fix you up. We thank our guest, Brother William Johnson. Good for him to come on with us all the way down from the Dominican Republic. He's down there chilling in his paradise.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so good for him. But we appreciate him coming on. And as we said, this is a show for anybody that knows us. You want to come on here and talk sports with us? We're more than happy to have you come on. Thanks so much for listening to the Me and D
Pops and Son
podcast.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
D, tell them.
Man, but until next time.
What?
I'ma holla.